Welcome to Disc Reviews with Altitude. I'm Flash, your host for Super Flash Disc Golf. Got a kind of a fun one here, a little bit of a small, shorter comparison, but got a hold of the new Streamline prototype boosts. And I got 3 of them because I knew they were going to be like a limited run, and probably the official release of these is going to be, according to Eagle, it sounds like it's going to be like a very different disc. It sounds like they're actually going to redo the mold quite a bit from what I gathered, but these came out really stable, and it's kind of like MVP's attempt to make a streamlined version of a PD, kind of nice overstable 10-speed. It sounded like they wanted to have a little more turn and a little less overstability. I was kind of hoping they would make like a trail that was just a little bit more stable. The trail can be kind of flippy in a lot of situations, but it's such a good disc, and having a trail that's a little more stable would be such a great, just kind of solid control driver. But the boost is really, really nice, and I picked up 3 of them. They're slightly different than colors. They feel a little different. I got 2 173s, and then this one is a 165, but this purple is a little stiffer, and after talking to some people on the MVP forums, they kind of had a similar feel. The purple ones seem to be a little stiffer and maybe a little domier as well, maybe something the way the purple cures. But we got 3 of those, and then I'm going to compare them to the old standard. Here's shout out Bonanza. This was the first Roman that I picked up, and this is a kind of a swirly S Roman, which is the old Discmania PD. So this is what Simon and Eagle used to throw. And I've got that in the swirly S, a little bit beat in. I actually should have grabbed a newer one, but I've got a brand new iBlend one, 171. So it should be fairly, the iBlends and the S blends are pretty close when they first out of the box. The iBlends will just beat in pretty fast. But I've also got a Halo one that should be a nice and stable. They have like a very, very minor kind of nose bead to them. Very, very controllable driver, kind of nice pushy, pushes a little bit more than like a Thunderbird. Even like when they start to beat in, they'll get a little bit of flip with a nice consistent fade. Like Gannon loves the new version. You can kind of flex them and everything. And I think that's kind of what they were going for with the boost. Obviously, I think this is going to be a little bit more stable, but the fact that, and again, these probably won't be a continued mold. The new mold, this is kind of a single run. So there are some still floating around. So if you want kind of a very more stable version, you might want to try to pick one of these or 2 of these up before they're gone, because it doesn't look like they're coming back. But we're going to get out here and throw them. And there's a handful of holes here. This is actually the same place where Eagle and Bonanza reviewed them. There's a couple great holes that are perfect for this, for my arm, and some fun shots that we can try with these. So that'll be kind of a fun comparison. So we're going to start out here. This is actually hole 1, and hole 1T is back kind of there. You see the practice basket and the signs a little bit in front of that on the sidewalk. It's a big 510-foot par 3 or 4 right now. It's kind of tweener. And a lot of times when they play a tournament or play tags or something, they will put a Mando right here by the tree or one of the light posts, so you can't go out over the kind of irrigation stream. And when they do that, you can try to kind of bend something and slide beyond these trees. But a lot of times if it's windy or something, the typical play is to throw a driver somewhere into this open spot and then try to take something through one of these low gaps up there. This is kind of a typical spot. I actually was warming up. Pretty much all of these on a hyzer landed within a short circle here. So I'm just going to kind of use this extra testing here as a spot, as like a typical landing zone. So now we're kind of still probably, I'd say probably 275, 280 out from this spot, which is a pretty good distance for me for these to kind of keep them low, knowing that they're going to like hyzer back and skip in. I can't really go full hyzer unless I really pump something. So like I like to keep them low and get the flare back to the basket. So we'll start with the boost. Here's a yellow one. Try to keep it low. I'm working on some stuff with my form, really working on this brace, so I'm kind of working on that as well. So this is kind of an excuse for me to practice hitting some lines here. So All right, Proto Boost. See if we can get some nice flare here. Yeah, exactly. Really stable. Look at it kind of get to hyzer, flare, and parked. So that's perfect. I really like that disc for this. I would be a little scared to do this in like a tournament with this one because it's a little beat in. And if there was any headwind, it might drift a little bit. It might go a little longer than I expect, but we'll give it a nice little toss and we'll see how this kind of beat in one reacts here. Oh, I missed the line and got kind of lucky. A little too nose up. All right, we'll go with the Eibelin. It's 172. It's only been thrown a tiny bit, so it should be still pretty close to an out of the box. There we go. Get under there. Nice little hyzer, a little flare. See, a little more pushy. The boosts are definitely a little more stable. So we'll try this is the 166 boost, and we'll see how stable it is comparatively. Oh yeah, see, still pretty stable, getting the nice flare. Almost in the same spot, but just a little bit more. That was a little lower, a little more driven, and it's in the same spot as that Eibelin. Quite nice. And now we'll try the Oil Slick X Out Halo. This one's very slightly beat in. It was in my, and now we got a crosswind too. This was in my bag for a little bit here. Just a little lightly thrown. All right, hit that same line. Yeah, there we go. Kind of, okay. I almost got robbed on the flare, but the wind helped us. And we'll go one more boost. That's a little wider, but look, no, so nice and stable. Still gonna flare in there, really solid. That's really good. And that makes me feel good because those were solid. Hitting my lines. All right, let's go see how we did. And then we got a nice little forehand hole after this. We got a good mix, so I'm gonna do a couple forehands, a couple backhands, just like 4 or 5 holes. So you can kind of see a quick review. And then in my next one, eventually I'm gonna get here into a little bit more in-depth and a handful more that are very similar to this. I just picked up a Tara ET. I've got a Nightjar. I've got Onyx. I'm trying to get an Onyx and a couple more plastics. I got a couple just many PDs. So, and I'm gonna try to throw a couple more in there. So we're gonna have a nice little kind of overstable control 10-speed review. If you look back in my history, I did kind of one on a bunch of the more neutral 10 speeds. And then I've got a handful of flippy ones that we'll go over too. But I'm gonna try to do this with pretty much every speed in my collection here. Yeah, this one was my fault, just a little nose up, and I caught the branches. But, ooh, purple was absolutely parked. Blue Boost was really nice as well. Yellow Boost was also absolutely parked. Gold one, the Gold Roman, didn't push. It was just a little wider. And then this Eibelin Roman just pushed a little straighter, just a little straighter. But not much. I mean, this was only a few feet past the other ones. Ooh, get in there. All right. Easy up and down. And solid. And this is just, like I said, I've been throwing the Roman. I actually have one in my bag currently, a newer swirly S-blend. And I was kind of excited when I saw these and when I heard they were a little more stable because they kind of complement a Roman quite good. So I'll probably go back to the trail for my straight in this slot and then kind of just trying to decide the next couple if I want to bag 1 or 2 more stabilities. I like the swirly S Roman because it has just a little bit of flip, and it's been working for me really good on a forehand. So kind of excited for the boost though. To have something that's just a little bit more overstable is also really nice, especially if I may save these to throw when I go down in elevation. I'm playing the Vegas Challenge a little later this year, so I may just keep these, and they may end up being a perfect swap for the way my kind of slightly beat in Romans are flying here at altitude, and we shall see. All right, hole 2 hit Centen here. So you can see it straight ahead. Let me see what the sign says in this position. I think this is the back left position, which says it's 315, which I think is about right. Yeah, there's a closer one and a right one that are kind of just under 300, I think. This one's about 315, very slightly uphill. Pretty good. This is kind of testing the edge of my forehand distance. But we'll throw a couple and then also do a flex. So we'll start out with, I'll save the most overstable for the flex. Ooh, we got a crosswind. So I'm gonna start out with the boost. Let's start out with the light one. This is kind of outside of my forehand distance, but I've been throwing it really well the last few weeks, and I just played a tournament and I threw really well forehand, but I'm also having a little bit of arm pain, so I'm trying to be a little careful. But I'm just gonna try to be smooth with it. If I come up short, I'm not really that worried. I just kind of want to get the right shape here. So I think these are going to need to be a slight flex with the wind, and it might actually help us. Ooh, a little flary. All right, yeah, way short. Yeah, I just don't have the forehand power for this. And like I said, my elbow is a little bit painful this last few days, so I'm a little bit wary of throwing this. All right. Here goes the swirly S. There we go. It's not bad. Like I said, I get a little push. I've been forehanding these pretty well. They get me pretty good push because they're just stable enough where they'll actually kind of flex on their own and give me a little extra straight push on my forehands over like my fireballs, which will kind of cut in. They don't get that far. Like I said, this is probably max of my forehand, but I need to get them a little bit higher with a little bit of flex. So I can't quite get there with these. I would probably need to go like destroyer and a flex to get to this. But see, that was a nice little flex. All right, I'm getting closer slowly. All right, we'll try the yellow one. Oh, it's so stable. It's quite a bit more stable than those Romans on the forehand. Really good, solid hold up, but like, I think I could definitely push those on a little bit harder of a flex. But speaking of, we'll try the backhand flex as well here, which has actually kind of been my preferred play on this hole for quite some time, just because obviously I can't reach it with a backhand or a forehand. So yeah, little backhand flex. We want to come inside the big tree and then flex back out nice and low here. All right, this is Halo Roman. Oh no, the wind knocked it down. Oh, the wind kind of an awkward tailwind for this flex angle. Kind of like pushed it down. I kind of liked it because I think it was going to drift and come back pretty nicely. Darn it. All right. Go with the boost. Oh, and then that one I didn't flex enough. I'll have to rewatch that on video. I don't like I flexed it, but man, either it fought out immediately or I didn't get the angle right. They're pretty overstable here at altitude. even more so than that Halo Roman. The Halo Roman's pretty good. It's pretty close to it, but even that Halo Roman I think is less stable than these boosts. And like the Romans, I don't think I've ever really been in that, maybe certain runs of them, but I don't think they're really in that kind of 10-4-0-3. They've always felt like almost like a mini destroyer, right? Where they're like 10-5, neg-1-3 or neg-1-2 even, as they kind of beat in. So, you know, numbers kind of lie. Manufacturer numbers always lie a little bit. Well, not always, but some of them are just not ever labeled correctly. All right, well, here's hole 5 at Centennial Park. Pretty solid little kind of low ceiling tunnel shot. I think this is about 380 because the right position, it's almost straight ahead, and the right long, and I think it's 391 or something like that, and it's about 10 feet beyond this, so I don't think this sign is correct. It says this is at 350, but it's definitely only about 10 feet closer than the long right, and it's probably a good 40-50 past the close right deep of. So, and I think that one's like 330. So yeah, it's probably about 380. And I just threw some excellent shots and wasn't recording. So here we go, round 2. We'll start off, there was a crosswind. It's been kind of swirling and gusting. Man, we'll see this. So we'll start off the Roman. What I like about this S-blend is a lot of times they will pop up a little bit when you put them in power, but they usually fade back. And let's see if I can't repeat what I just did there. All right, here's swirly S-blend Roman. Really solid. You see that just subtle drift and flare in there. Nice, just a touch short, but that's really solid. I had a bit more of a wind earlier. I threw a little lower and it just kind of popped up nicely and faded in there, was parked. Very, very solid. I'm not sure, like with no wind, or if I can quite get these boosts there without a little bit of flex. We'll try the light one flat. We'll see what happens to it. I'm gonna pull it just a little bit to the right because I know it's gonna flare quite a bit more here, but I'll try to get this lighter one flat, see if we can't get it there. There we go. Just a tiny bit nose up, but right up there, like a little short. If that would have been a little flatter, would have been perfect. All right, we'll try the eye blend. Oh, a little inside, and that's not hard enough. That's not gonna pop up as much as I need it to. That was a little off balance going into that. All right, now we'll try these more stable max weight ones on a little bit more of a flex here. See if I can't get my flex angle a little better. Keep popping the nose up a little bit on the flex here. Yeah, there we go, subtle flex. But look at how stable it is. Look at how quick that came out. And came out way short. Man, I thought I got that angle pretty good. Do the same thing here with the Halo Roman. Maybe I just didn't get enough power on it. Try it again, we got a couple more tries here. Here's the Halo Roman, baby flex in the Halo Roman. Nice and low. That's gonna need some ground play. Ooh, a little short, a little low, but you see it kind of like just drift slightly and then come out. I really like that flight. The Halo Roman one's pretty good. I'll try to do similar with this last boost here. See if I can't get it correctly. Nope, nose up a little bit. Didn't get the angle. Didn't pull up. They're so stable. You really have to get the angle and the nose down. They fight out so fast here. Makes them great for like forehand torque and just like headwinds and stuff. The PDs, the Romans, they're pretty good in headwind, but like as they beat in, like the eye blend that really beat in S1. They will drift in the wind a little bit under a lot of power, but I can push them pretty hard. My arm, I can get them out to around 400 fairly consistently. I've been messing with my form a lot of it lately, so I haven't been pushing them too hard. So, but this is a pretty good distance for me. And it looks like we got a couple in the circle, I think. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, that first swirly S was really good. The boost though, the first couple boosts just boosted to the left a little bit, but so did the eye blend. I missed the angle a little bit, but the S, so the swirly S, is pretty much parked. The lightweight boost though, like I said, if that lightweight boost was a little bit higher, same with the Halo Roman, had these been just a touch higher, they've been pretty good. Very solid. Yeah, see, this one's almost deeper than the right left, so this might be closer to 390. I don't know, but yeah, swirly S parked twice in a row. I'm very comfortable with this guy. It was in my bag for quite a bit. Started to get a little beat up, and I actually lost it, so I had Anthony sign it for me, and I've kind of retired it. I'm currently working in a new one. But yeah, when they work in just a little bit, man, they are just such a good, they feel good in the hand. They get that just little bit of pop up with really, really consistent control and fade, and push nicely for like a huge amount of holes where you just don't need to pull out a driver and play with an even more skip and kind of distance control. All right, now we can go a little forehand test. This one I think I can actually reach with a forehand here. We'll put you over here on the forehand angle, and we're gonna give these a little forehand. I was struggling with my forehand. I skipped a couple holes. There's a couple kind of cool forehand holes earlier. I may go back and shoot them. This, I believe, is 285, which is about, it's getting close to my max in my forehand. And with something stable, probably need to flex them just a little bit here, but we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna start out with the eye blend here and just see if I can get a nice, solid, flat forehand. I don't know what this wind is doing. Keep switching from right to left tail, right to left head. It seems to be mostly right to left, but it seems to be swirling here. It looks like it's just mostly to the right to left now, crosswind. But see if I can swing a little eye blend out here. Oh no, I popped it up. All right, that's not bad. It's just short. I went back to my car and grabbed my eye. I've been having just suddenly since yesterday a little bit of pain. The elbow, I was throwing the forehand so good all weekend. And the last couple of weeks in general, and then suddenly this little bit of elbow pain just creeping in. So gonna have to probably slow my forehands down for a little bit for a few days. All right, we'll go boost, a little bit of flex in the boost here. Whoa, didn't get enough flex on it. Man, they're so stable. Try that again with the light one here. I can get a little bit cleaner of a fall through. I don't think I'm falling through on these nice and flat. Whoa, gosh, even that light one, look at that flare. That is wild. I thought I got that pretty good too. I thought that was just gonna cruise up there. And I ended up scaring the walker. I'm gonna have to probably chop the last boost to try and get it up there. All right, here's that swirly S. I can get this one a little bit cleaner here. Oh man, I flexed it. Come back. But see, it's, oh, that would have actually been pretty good if I missed that. It fought out of it with that flex in a crosswind. It's definitely got some late stability. All right, we'll try the Halo one. Gosh, man, my forehand today, it was so good, and now all of a sudden it's back to being trash. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Oh, pinned it with the Halo. Baby flex with the Halo Roman. Yeah, finally hit a forehand. All right. And we'll try to follow that up with the last boost here. I'm gonna have to kind of get a little more height, probably a little bit more flex here. Let's see if I can do it. Oh my goodness. Did you see it fight out of that? I thought I got the angle pretty good. A little inside. Wow. Yeah, my forehand is not that clean. Not that powerful, but I did feel like that came out on a pretty good Anheuser angle, and it just started fighting out immediately. You saw how much more the Romans like lean into the turn, and it ended up pretty good. It's just outside circle. So it did get some forward push, and I did cut it a little inside. I definitely meant to chop it a little bit more over to get it to kind of pull left. Had I done that, it would have been pretty close to parked because it got the distance right, but didn't quite get that angle. If you've got a strong forehand and or you love flex angles, then that guy might be really good for you. For me, I like the little bit extra straight push I get out of these Romans. And like I said, I can throw them almost flat and they will drift a little bit. And just for my arm and my forehand, they've been really good. Like every once in a while, I'll go up to like a destroyer if I really need some extra stability and maybe a little bit more distance. But these Romans pretty much max out my forehand. I can get them a little over 300 sometimes when there's no wind. And I can occasionally get a driver a little bit further. All right, so we're gonna take one of my best drives here, which was this blue boost. The Halo Roman had a pretty good angle too. A little more right though. And I wanna try to do a couple of different shots here. All right, so we're gonna go skipper underneath. We'll go we'll hydro forehand around the backside, and we'll see, and maybe we'll try a super hyzer as well here. See what we can do here. All right, for the skipper, I'm gonna go Halo Roman here. Try to keep it low, see if we can slide it up there. Oh, get under. No, a little too high and early. Dang. All right, well, I think the boosts are gonna be better with this because I can go a little lower here. There we go. Get off that tree. Oh yeah. Oh, on the backside. Long, nice. All right, I'll try to swing one forehand around the backside. Go with the S-blend Roman here. Oh no, nosed it up too, skied it. That's a bummer. That needed to be flat out to the right. Don't really need the hyzer in this wind here. There we go, there's the boost. Look at the boost, see, I can hammer that. And that was way wide, and it still got around. I don't think I have the power to get these over the top from this distance, but you know what? We'll try it for fun here. Woo! Oh, almost. All right, I don't even think with the Romans I can quite get enough push out of it. Maybe actually. All right, we'll try it. I was gonna try another low one, but we'll try it. I'll try to see if I can get Roman up over the top. I think I can push these a little bit higher and wider if I can't get it over the top here. Oh no, too wide probably. Oh, I had the distance. I just needed to be a little more inside. All right. Just kind of having fun. This isn't the best comparison day. I was a little reluctant to do this because I know people probably want to see the boost, but at the same time, since it's a limited run and it's never going to be in production, I don't know, if it was worth doing, but I figured I'd get out here and throw them next to kind of what they were supposed to be like, which is these Romans. And I think that's what they were saying, is they wanted something that had a little bit more pop-up, so you can kind of push them with that solid fade at the end, a little more controllable. These boosts are the way they are now. They're solid. They're a great overstable driver, but there's probably, if you want that, and like I said, the Eagle likes them. I know some of the other, another MVP Pro friend that is throwing them, and he loves them because of the stability. But I think for most people and most uses, I think you want something that's a little more pushy, because right now they're probably too close to a fireball, and like a utility type forehand driver. So, and they, I don't know, but we did get the one boost around the corner. You can see they handle some forehand power. So if you like forehands and Roman just isn't quite stable enough for you, pretty solid. And then I got the other one in the circle too, here with the skipper underneath. I did not get a Roman close. I got two boosts in circle, so they definitely have their uses. Whoops. All right, if you can see the basket, it's way back there. When you're on the tee though, you can't really see it. So it's kind of blocked by the trees, but really, unless you have a good forehand, the only way to get it is to like slide it low right through the center gap of the grove. So kind of a fun shot, and I've gotten it pretty good a couple times. We'll start with the Danza Roman. Try to see if we can just drill the gap here. Oh, I'm early left. Man, and the ground play that I had the other day is just gone today. Wild how quickly it disappears. All right, we'll try the halo Roman. Need to hit the gap. It's too right. No ground play. Too right. Gotta get it right down the middle. All right, last Roman. There it is. Now go down. That's how you get to it. Go in the basket. Oh, that was so close to going in. All right. Took me 3 tries, but I got it. All right. Now, see if I can do that with a boost. I think these boosts, I'm gonna have to flex them. They're just, or swing them way right, because they're gonna flare super hard. I'll try to swing them a little more right. Nope. See, they hyzer before they even get to the gap. Look at that flare. They're just so overstable. All right, a little lightweight one. The lightweight one might be able to. It's starting to get a tiny bit straighter. There. Get off the tree. Now flare. Oh my gosh, I got a straight flare. Wow, that's went straight to the deep position. That's wild. I actually did that on accident the other day too. I've never been able to get to this deep pin because I always try to go to the right side, and I pulled it right, and I got it to slide all the way straight, parked the deep right pin, trying to get to this pin on the left. I'll kind of show you when we walk it up. And that one is actually, I think that skips straight to where it's gonna have a putt. It's not parked, but probably has a putt. All right, last one. Here's the, I think this yellow one is, can't tell which one's more stable between the yellow and the blue one. I think the blue one might be more stable. I'm still gonna get this little, try to flex this one, but let's keep it low. Nope, didn't flex it enough. Golly, look at it fight out. Oh. Yeah, they're both very, very overstable. Right line, missed the angle by a tiny beat. The eye blend, we parked it. So you can see, but the lightweight with the straight skip, I'm really shocked. I thought I got that lightweight boost perfect, and that was really unfortunate because that it skipped straight, because I thought it was going to flare into this little left gap. It should have been about right here, but instead it just flared straight, which is really odd. In fact, it flared slightly to the right, so it got a little bit of an anti-skip from where I am with the tee pad, but it's still a putt, which is kind of cool. But like I said, the other pin, the long pin, is right there, so I would have had a putt at it too, which is wild. But oh, I missed it. Oh, come on, dude. There we go. All right. And then the eye blend, just a little tap in. Nice. That is a really, really feel-good birdie because it's such a specific low gap and skip to hit. So it's really, really cool when you get it. That felt pretty good. That's a good way to end it. Well, there's a little bit of comparison with some Romans and some boosts. Like I said, when they ever do the production one, I'll do that one run. But you can kind of see, I think this is more the flight that they were going for. Just a little bit more straight push, like a little bit of flip and a little bit softer of a fade. These are just pretty beefy, especially here at altitude. You can see like they really flary sometimes when you get them low, which can be kind of nice. But like I said, they're kind of bordering too close to fireballs maybe. And so I think that's why they're probably not going to continue them. I think, you know, if you're looking for what those pros are looking for in a PD like Eagle, he probably wants to be able to push it somewhere in between like his long distance drivers and something like his like Teslas and fireballs and motions and stuff that he throws. So these are probably a little too close to that. I mean, he probably gets a little extra distance, but they're still probably too close to it. So I think with a little bit more flexibility, you can shape these a little bit more, especially like in the woods and stuff. When they have that little bit of flip up, you can kind of get them to follow lines, push straight around stuff. They'll sit a little bit softer. So again, I'm gonna do a bigger comparison of more stuff in this speeds. Like I said, I'm gonna do on some Onyx. I got a Tire ED, I got a handful of other ones. So we're gonna kind of do some Discmania versions of the PD as well. These are probably closest, I would say, to like that Nightjar that I've reviewed before, or the C-Line PDs where they're just really overstable. But still a great disc, and there's still some out there you can get. There's also some lightweight ones. Like this 166 feels pretty amazing. Even though it's really overstable, it feels like I can manipulate it just a little bit more, and maybe a beat into it be a little bit straighter. So there's still some options out there. But anyway, there's a quick one for you. I just needed to get out and film here. It's been a couple weeks, I feel like, since I've been able to really film anything. So anyway, catch you next one.